Okie dokie, that looks like a little bit better, I think. Is that working? Yeah, I think we're good. Oh shoot, hold on. Let's get everybody connected. Let's put me there. And stream, and this for you. And what else is there to do? So much work. Yeah, I think I'm back. Not positive. Okay, yeah, hello again. There we go. Let's do this and loop that, and see if this works. There we go. Save that for later, and I think we're good. All right, so I actually have no idea what's about to happen. Let's take a look at. Let's see if Google Drive works for me now. That was really the problem. Was that it's still not working.
It's still not working.
Yeah. Well, I'll deal with it later. I don't really know how to access things without Google Drive. How can I possibly get to? Let's see. Will the calendar work? Well, yeah. So if the calendar's not working, yeah, that's not good. And hold on. No, that's not it. Have this working. Let's go like that. How could Classroom possibly work, but not?
I mean, Classroom's like a external thing from Drive, but everything in Classroom's stored in Drive, so
Yeah, so that's
it's probably gonna.
interesting.
So all your Classroom stuff will work, but when you click on it, it's gonna probably give you an error. Oh, never mind.
Does yours work, Mr. Derusi?
Yeah, everything works fine for me in Classroom. Yeah, everything's
Okay, well, we're not doing the clear cookies thing again because that is why we wasted a bunch of time. All right, so I guess we can do
Can you
questions.
even look at?
Can
Can you
I?
look at the calendar?
No, that was what I tried to open. Um, I mean, if there was a day for everything to go sideways, this would probably be a good one since there isn't that much left to do. And we're probably going to go to not that many streams per week because there's just less to do, and because, um, at least for this week, Mr. Drusi and I, need to start our grading of the projects, which is obviously going to take a long time, and uh, yeah, Mary, you sent me that email, and I don't know what that is. Have you seen that, Mr. Drusi? The
I
WeE
didn't
portfolio?
know, but I know there's portfolios involved in like the art AP and some of the other APs, so it could be related to that and not for APCSB. We don't really have a portfolio, so
Well, I mean,
it,
our thing is called the digital portfolio, which
well, I
the
mean,
five
yeah, but
documents.
it's not the same kind of portfolio in terms of like turning in art projects and whatnot.
That's true.
But no, I did not get an email about we.
That's strange. Okay, so had one question from email. There we go. Yeah, there's your question. Interesting times. Student question. No, my code. Noah, and it's from Adam. Okay, so this is one debugging question that I meant to get to before. But let's see what's going on here. Let's see if anything runs. This is interesting. Score. Wait, why don't I try and win it? There. Oh, no, can't stand there. Can't stand there. I'm gonna get a game over screen. Alright, maybe the question is that. Oh, it moves. Sweet. What? Garbage.
We can't see the stream, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh,
I think
yeah,
we
that would
have
help.
your-
There we go.
You're such a.
I'm an amateur. I'm an amateur. Pro streamer. Only if I get paid. Wow, does it slows down in the middle? Game over, I win. Okay, perhaps the question, hope this message finds you well, sweet. Tried emailing Mr. DeRisi, who is my teacher. Oh, shots fired. Um, but he hasn't responded. I've almost finished my create performance task, but for some reason, whenever I try to use any of my buttons, except for my play button, it glitches. Um, game changes to game lose, game win screen. It won't change. Well, the email was from 2 days ago, so my guess is that this person has solved the problem because the game looks like it works.
I gotta ask too. People that are sending me emails and then throwing shade at me for not responding, are you emailing me the correct email address that I posted in Classroom and I say all the time? At email.org. I'm just saying, if you're gonna come at my throat like this, I gotta defend myself. You gotta email me at the right spot.
Yeah, there's that. So, hmm, what can we do? Since I can't get to the question screen, can you get to do we have any questions on the forum?
We had two. Whenever I use my buttons,
Is it
the
this one?
questions. Okay,
That's
yep,
this
this
one.
one. Highway Rush, yep. And then the other one is when is the deadline for the two performance tasks?
Well, I suppose we don't have a deadline right now. We'll put in grades this week, and so the situation for the performance test for the quarter, for the school, for the class, well, from now on, we're not talking about the AP test or the AP as far as uh, deadlines and stuff. So it's past the due date for the performance task, but that kind of doesn't really matter because losing 10% on the tasks isn't going to change your pass fail situation. So give us the week to finish grading, considering it's already Tuesday, and then we'll put in like Z's for people that haven't missed or that haven't submitted anything, and then we'll talk about due or deadlines um, next time. Um, Mary, I've seen both no more than 100 words or whatever the case is, and I've seen around 100 words or 200 words or whatever it's supposed to be. Um, so it's hard to tell whether or not it is a strict word count or if it's um, an about. I don't think they're gonna throw it through a word counter, and so I wouldn't worry too much. But you know, they just don't want overachievers to just throw pages and volumes at them. So I would say that um, you know close is close is good. And how is that already? Wow, it's popping up there first. That's strange. Um, what do you do? What do I do if my code uses a prompt, but it doesn't record that? Also, my name shows up in the recording because of software I'm using. Um, Again, realistically, I don't think that they would take points off for that. Um, is it, Eric, for your question, is it like in the file name or is it just capturing the entire screen and your name is in the um, let's take a look at this. Like when you record, your name is up here, uh, or is it? Let's see here. So when you is it recording and your name? Wait, you can't even see
I think
my
it
thing.
records and it has your like last name up in the top right where your little icon is.
Like up
Let's take
here on Chrome or up here in code.
code like that part right there. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if that would be that big of a deal,
I
but
don't think it's a big a deal, that big a deal, but to be safe, like if you already submitted and you hit final, yes, yes, all the way through the digital portfolio thing for AP, I would say it's fine. But one way to get around that would be to use the share link and copy that and I don't know, put it in a I don't think an incognito window would have trouble. And then when you play it there, which you should be playing it from um, the share window anyway, not from the um, code integrated design environment IDE. There's something you could learn. There's a term. Anyway, yeah, you should be playing it from like this, and I would even like if you have your bookmarks, I would hide bookmarks and like clean up the screen as much as possible unless you have if you have the ability to like record just the area around the emulator. There's another good term. um, I mean, yeah, so that's what I would go to a share screen and use the share link. Okay, so David, I mean, if you're using um, screen share, can you, screen share, you can just color it out.
I think the easiest thing to do is just do it how you have it. Use
Share
the
link,
share link.
yeah,
Yeah, because I
that
think
gives you a
I've
nice clean
I've had a
screen.
couple people. Um, they demo their app in code.org's like sandbox. So just use the share link. Share link, share link, share link.
Yeah, plus it just looks cleaner. It looks more professional. This is a fun game that I made. Yeah, trying to figure out how the canvas works. All of the red bars. Like I never really got into red bars, but I need to figure out. I should learn that to teach future generations. So not you guys. So, but it's all there. You guys have had, and like I feel like I'm talking to the people in chat right now, but you guys, it pretty much to 100% that you guys are probably doing really well just by self-selected people who check the classroom for a start time and um, show up. That's put you in an elite fraternity of successful and future successful people. But for those of you watching later, you've had plenty of time, and it's very disheartening to still be getting emails that say, "What am I supposed to do?" Like, come on, people. This is ridiculous. All right, so a couple other questions. I missed one. Now that AP performance tests are done, what are we going to do? Ruben, well, you guys are going to wait until we grade everything, and then your question's from up. I can't scroll on that. You're going to wait for us to grade it, and then we will talk about, I believe it's called Unit 6. I wouldn't expect there to be too much from it. Let's see if I can get to. Nope, not that. I don't think I have any weird bookmarks. Show bookmarks bar. There we go. And then we will go to that. And let's take a look just for funsies at. I believe, like I said, I think it's called Unit 6. Oh, Post AP. That's what it is. There's a lot of good stuff here, and we would grind it all out if we were in class. The problem is it's not really realistic. Um, there, this is all the stuff that is important, but not included or not necessary would not have been necessary for the AP test, like the for real multiple choice test. Um, but it's still good stuff. The problem is it's very difficult to do in our distance learning format. Um, we may, I think we probably should do that. Like JavaScript objects, um, objects are a key feature or a foundational component of JavaScript, and I actually don't know about other programming languages, but like we talk about foundations like variables, functions, arrays, like that's pretty much everything falls into one of those categories. Objects is or are objects are one of those foundational things. They are a way of managing information. They have specific characteristics, like the way arrays are square brackets and separated by commas. Objects are curly brackets, and they are the key is their format is what's called a key value pair, and their JavaScript. If you've ever seen a JSON file .json, that's JavaScript object notation, and that notation is so efficient and effective at keeping track of information that other programs use or are designed to use JSON files to store information. They're written to use this file type, and but in this unit we would be just learning about how to work those into a regular app. The permanent, so we'll probably do lesson 8 from Post AP, from unit, we'll call it unit 6. Can you hear that, Mr. Rusi?
I can. It
They,
sounds like a baby crying.
yeah,
Or a toddler, I would say.
yeah, the insane midget roommate that I have in the other room. Um, Permanent data storage, that is uh, reading, deleting, updating records. In App Lab, there is a data window that is a way that you could in App Lab create an app that would maintain or keep information that was put into it even after you refreshed. Because the way we have it now is that when you reload the page, or yeah, reload the app or hit run, reset run, everything goes back to scratch, which is fine. We have designed things to work that way. That's great. But it would be nice to like have a list app, a to-do list or a shopping list, grocery list app that kept its information after you turned your phone off, and then when you reloaded the page, the information was still there, and you could, or the data was still there, and you could access it and change it, all that kind of stuff. That's useful, but not necessary for what we've done so far. They have sort of crammed in visualizing data, which data visualization is like the cool way of saying graphs. Like that's the new word for graphs is data visualization. which in the first chapter of this next thing is about um, making graphs. And there is a ton of useful information. And I would say throughout high school, the most useful class that I took was AP Statistics, um, which if you are an underclassman, I definitely recommend taking. The first semester is essentially teaching you how to divide, so that's not very difficult. But as far as using critical thinking and actual numbers to understand what graphs or statistics are actually telling you when you read them on the news or a newspaper article, and also giving you the ability to say, oh, this statistic you've given me is garbage. You're a newspaper and you're clearly taking data and trying to turn it into something interesting or sensational, and what you've given me is useless because of the wording or something like that. And that is something that, I still think about and still use on a pretty regular basis as far as content from high school that is super useful after high school. Um, stats are so easy to yeah, stats are easy to manipulate, and that's the thing is this the class will you you can take that information and use it for good or use it for evil. Uh, the people that are manipulating those stats for the sake of news or academic writings, uh, they know they're not stupid. They're just manipulating. Um, and you could say that's dishonest or effective, whichever you want to call it. But uh, regardless, still a useful bit of information. And tying it back to the reason why you guys are all listening to me is that this unit of um, data visualization is sort of dipping your toe into the idea of good statistics, bad statistics. In this case, it actually has a design aspect where we go through and talk about these visualizations and essentially pick them apart from a creative standpoint, and um, even to the point of talking about different colors and the fonts and layout and that sort of thing. Are these effective? Each of these are these effective visualizations, and does this one have volume? I don't.
Notable people whose
Ooh,
birthplaces
let's,
and deathbeds have been linked in the celebration. It's the work of a team led by Maximilian Schiller, based at the University of Texas. The team wanted to chart hundreds of years of culture. Births are blue, deaths are red. Let's start in the Far East. This is 17th century.
Okay. Anyway, that's what we would have. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what we would have done if we were still in class. We might have a stream where we just sort of go over it without any deliverables. Deliverables is the cool term for assignments. That's what adults call assignments. And some stuff about, making different charts. The problem is it's just too easy to not get out of it what you're supposed to get out of it for various reasons. So we may just have a stream that's a informative stream, and maybe we'll watch YouTube videos together with commentary. That's good times. And yeah, so all this stuff, like I said, super useful skills and information that you would actually use after high school and after college, but it's not on, or would not have been on, the actual AP test proper. So they put it in this post AP unit. Um, that's not to say it's not important, like I said, but it is what we will be talking about next. When is our official, Mr. Drusi, do you know our official Last day, I don't know. Last day doesn't really seem to have the same
I
importance.
think it's the 15th. I think maybe the 15th, something like that. That's last day for non-seniors.
Okay. There's been a lot of questions since then. Your name. Do. Send it now. Send it. Uh, got it. Nice. Yeah, I can hear that. Yay. Yee. Haley Gabriel. Was that the start of like an old timey sentence? Like, ye old Unit 6? What would happen if you accidentally left your name in a project but submitted as final? I would say don't worry about it. I'm sure they get a ton of those. I think they do that to cover their own behind as far as um, they don't want the any appearance of, is impropriety the right word? Any appearance of
It's like just a blind way of grading.
yeah,
Favoritism. Yeah,
yeah,
favoritism.
exactly.
We have to shorten the word yes nowadays. YE is shorthand for yeah or yes. There's
Um,
one extra letter. Oh my
you
god.
can even put a P there. Or see this part right here where it says
Can't you just do a Y? Well,
this.
I guess that would be a question then at that point.
That's true.
Confusing.
This explanation, has already killed any sort of profit, time profit that we would have collectively made up as a culture by dropping the S. Um, we can barely hear. Is that about the YouTube video?
Yeah, it was about the video. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
yeah.
You're fine. I think I'm a little bit low, but I don't care.
Yeah, I turned it
It's
down
okay.
because you were popping pretty hard, but I think it was because I have Discord up too high. So that's on me, and I can't even hear you. I don't even hear you through OBS, so it's not a big deal. Last day equals June 15th. Yes, I do support the equals instead of is. Um, as far as a uh, shortening of typing. That's even though it's again only saving one, it's odd.
What about a double equal?
Double equal, that would technically be correct, but in like in chat that would just sort of mean like really equals. Like that's sort of a microaggression, I would say, up there with all caps or exclamation. That's not really appropriate in a unless you really know somebody. I wouldn't put two equals. Um, I don't know. Um, so what else? Hmm. Hmm. Hmm? Let me check my email. Do. I am live. On the page, link for us to go. Yep, Adam, you're good to go. My problem is that when I run my death counter to 1 and you get to the other side, it says lose. Oh, okay, that's fun. Let's see what happens if that is still the case. And we'll go here. And let's run. And okay, so if death, you're saying if you get a win at with 1 left, this is going to be tricky to like win on purpose. Two, 1, and now I have to win. Go, 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 go. Oh, okay. So,
Can't see your screen.
I'm such an amateur. All right. So you're gonna have to take my word for it that we'll just fly through this. Let's with 1 life to go, if you try to, or if you successfully win, let's say if you win with only 1 life remaining, it goes to game over. All right, good. This is a classic remix or classic debugging situation. Okay, player move. We need to look for some sort of. Here's some good if else. A strange. You've probably done some copy and pasting or something like that. Because you could tell it's weird that the way this is set up, because you have an if and then an else if, which yeah, I don't mean copy and pasting in a bad way. I just mean like that's why this looks weird. That this else if should be. Actually, I'm surprised it's working. Oh no, these are nested if else. That's why. That's why it looks weird. I think. Adam, are you in chat? Well, regardless, I'll. Let's see. If goes to this one. Is that this one? Yeah. And then an else if, which goes to this. With a nested. I guess these are all supposed to be nested. But you really wouldn't have an else if and an else if there. Let's just break down the double. Now here's the thing is, this is not solving any problem. This is just so that it looks prettier when my eyes see it. And I don't know why there is a triple close bracket there, but it does seem to work.
Adam is here as well, by the way.
Adam,
if you want to ask him.
Adam, oh, okay. So Adam, are these just supposed to be like nested if else's, or are you just accidentally successful at dragging different things and copy and paste if else's? No, these look like pretty good nested if else's or else if's. Okay. Here is a problem. I would not put timed loop. This time loop function. I mean, all this stuff seems to work. Oh, I love is that a return function? Oh, love return functions. Good times. That was on accident. Yeah, I mean, but it does seem to work. All these set position player if k equals a, player x if player da, da. Yeah, these are just check. This looks like a check edge thing. If player y is greater than 320, set it to 320. Yeah, these are clearly that's not the issue that's working. We need check collision. If any one of these works, we run collision. A return function within a return function that returns true or false directly. This is good stuff, man. Okay, collision. Run collision. Where do we run collision? We run collision. Okay, if there's if any one of these are true, which I guess there's probably 4. Yeah, it's checking car 4 within its area. Oh, it's beautiful. Makes my eyes feel good. Game over. var player reset player death. Okay, it's somewhere in here. var player y gets to var player y equals get if player death is less than or equal to 0. I don't like this being a local variable, but that's not necessarily an issue. Oh, wait, was I already remixing? I must have been, because I was already moving stuff around. Yeah, so I guess it doesn't matter, because when you're calling these functions, or excuse me, these variables, you are getting that current Y position, so it shouldn't matter. Oh, did it? Yeah, it does seem to work. Set position, reset, collision. VAR player, stop time loop, good. Game win, stop time loop. If player death is greater than 0 and player Y is less than or equal to 10, where do you run? Oh, here's why. It's got to be player death minus minus. Where do you run? You run collision. So collision every time will do player death minus minus. What if we put... Oh, shoot. That happens when you're like this. What if we put player death at the end of this function? Why won't it let me drag that there? So that we can get to the game over screen before it takes one away. And let's see what happens there. Again, this is what's called a known repeatable bug, meaning that we can do it on purpose. In case you're wondering about game development or software development, the problem is that we have to go through and get down to 1, and then I have to win on this try. What? Let's just start. Let's start this with fewer, so I don't have to do this 100 times. Let's make it... What is going on here? Why can't I... Do I have, like, enter hidden down? Hidden down. Let's just start this with 2. See what happens. Why does it not work now? That's strange. Let's put this back to 7. Let's see if that breaks everything. Why is... Oh, you know what? Because... So even though it says 4 right here, it's actually... Do you see how the first time, the first death, I don't lose one? You are losing one. It's just not updating the screen there. So wherever you run update screen, that's the problem. Even though it says 7, you can see it doesn't update screen until the second one. Okay, so we need to figure out where we are updating screen. Set position, it's going to be in a set text, score number, player death. You need to call this somewhere else. You could call it every time you hit a key. Let's see what happens if we put this up in here. Because it's a set text, it doesn't really matter how many times you call it, I don't think. We want to make sure this... nope, it didn't do that. Let's put it in the... No, this definitely has to come after player death minus minus. But... Okay, let's see. I'm feeling better about this one. You gotta change those places. Oh, yeah, there we go. It worked. Having trouble... Yeah, so let's see here. First of all, we lose one right away, so that's good. And so I'm feeling better about this. It all has to do with the fact that you had player death minus minus before you did anything. So let's see here, 1, and now we need to win. Yay, we all win. So that was the problem. When you updated the variable player death and when you called game over. You have to call game over really should be called check game over. I mean, it could be called ASDF if you wanted. Like, it doesn't matter what it's called, but as far as explaining what it does, I would call it, I mean, whatever. It's fine right now. And there you go. It's fixed. So there's that. Um, hmm. Any other questions? That was fun. Thank you. You're welcome. Come on, calendar. Nope. Redirected too many times. What does that mean? I don't know. I guess that's it. Can you think of anything else, Mr. D?
No, I think I'm all set. I'll double check the questions. No more questions have been submitted right now, so I think we're good.
All right, so I guess we'll leave it there. Is there any assignment this week? No, there's not going to be an assignment for this week. Go ahead.
We're gonna open up Unit 5 after tonight at midnight.
Yeah, that
So if
sounds.
you have Unit 5 stuff you need to finish up, that would be the time to make up any Unit 5 stuff that you might be missing. There's a couple of assignments. So.
Yes, I think you also would need to email us because we're not going to go back and check everybody who's missing one. In fact, Mr. Russo, you want to go ahead and put a announcement on
Yeah, I got it.
Classroom about, I don't know, I suppose we can go through the wording together. Let's get rid of that. I suppose I can get rid of this one. And so there'll be a comment up there. We might stream Friday. We might wait until Monday. It's not super critical, but we'll have grades in at some point in the next few days, so you can check your grade book for that. And yeah, I guess that's about it. So I think that we'll go ahead and call it, and we'll talk to you guys next time. All right. Peace.